At first I was terrified, thinking, oh, I'll cut myself and I'll be bleeding all the time. But once I walked into a rink and saw everybody going around and around, and the big organ was playing in the background of the public session in those days, I was completely captivated by it. And I couldn't wait to get out on the ice and tear around the rink and see what I could do. And I just have loved it ever since. The beauty of feeling the wind in your face when you're skating. As you're gliding, you take a few pushes and boom, you can be still and just travel. My name is JoJo Starbuck, and I was a two-time Olympic figure skater, three-time U.S. champion and two-time world medalist a long time ago. I'm 64 now. I was born in Alabama, but I grew up in Southern California. I was a real tomboy, and I loved running and jumping and climbing everything in sight. My mother got me a pair of skates for Christmas when I was 7, and that started it. We went to this little skating school, and all they did was put on shows with these kids who couldn't really skate very well. I was paired up with Ken Shelley. We just immediately got along and loved to skate together. The skating school went bankrupt and closed down. I guess we were the only two who wanted to keep on skating, and our mothers took turns driving us to the local arena. We learned all the things that you need to know about being a competitive skater. It was exciting because that was the rink where Frank Zamboni invented his Zamboni machine. He owned and ran the rink, and he had his little shop right across the street. A strict disciplinarian and a tough coach, but a wonderful teacher. Really worked with Ken and I, led us to becoming champions in all the local and state and sectional and then national championships. And then when we were 16 years old, we made our first Olympic Games, and that was in Grenoble, France. I almost cry when I start to think about it. You're in the Olympic Village for about 3 weeks. In the opening ceremonies, I remember walking in with the team behind the U.S. flag, and I just couldn't believe what an absolute thrill and honor it was. Then the competitions began, and it was just an amazing, magical experience to be there. Our second Olympic Games in 1972, it was in Sapporo, Japan. You sort of feel like you're in a dream. We competed, and we came in 4th by 100th of a point. Then we went to the World Championships, came in 3rd, and then signed contracts to star in Ice Capades, which was a dream come true. We'd open in a new city every Tuesday night and perform there through Sunday. We headlined with them across America and Canada for 4 years. It was a blast. I mean, we had great costumes and lighting and an orchestra. You're kind of like an old married couple. You can finish each other's sentences, you know everything about each other. We really appreciated and respected each other, and we're still good friends to this day. It's really very special. I got a phone call from the Olympic champion, the most recent one, in 1976. It was John Curry. He was coming to New York City to do a show, and he wanted me to be his leading lady. I was dumbfounded. I thought my skating career was over, actually. In a way, I felt like I just learned to skate when I skated with John. He taught me and all of the other cast members so much about music and interpretation and quality edge work. It's great to be able to skate and work with such a master. Being in New York, you can't be a skater and not somehow be involved with Rockefeller Center. And they made me their head coach, and I produced a lot of events for them. We started these classes, I guess, about 25 years ago, and now I have an amazing, diverse group of women. They're truly intrepid because they'll come out in all kinds of weather and conditions. They have nice coffee waiting for them. We stretch, we do some basic ballet exercises, sort of get them in tune with their bodies and brains to get them in sync, put on our skates, and then we just go out. My goal is to not only teach them great foundational technique, basic edges and turns, but I also want them to feel creative, and I want them to feel beautiful. One of the greatest parts of the class is that they have to forget everything. Get on the ice and they just think about themselves. One of the first things I do is teach them how to not fall. Building up your leg muscles, the strengthening of the core, engaging your upper body movements, and your brain. You really have to think a lot while you're skating. Being invigorated, because as you go do laps around the rink, you're really working and opening your lungs. And then there's the joy component. You're just soaring through space. These days, especially since my twin boys have gone off to college, my husband and I go to the gym. I feel more fit now because I pay attention. When I get on the ice, I do feel stronger when I've been working out. I still, to this day, even though I'm 64, I still kind of push the envelope because can I go faster? Can I do this turn after this turn and make it a combination that does that? The bottom line to everything you do in life is consistently doing it. The more I practice, the harder I work, the more freedom I can experience when I really want to break out.